Soon the rebellion will be crushed, and you will be one of us. Before then, why not sit back and enjoy a new episode of Faking Star Wars Radio, the official podcast of FakingStarWars.net. This week we have another great show for all of you. We have an interview with Episode 9 director JJ Abrams. We have another Duel of the Fakes to break your brain, a tweet of the week, a bomb defusal manual, and no surprises whatsoever on this episode. Patreon supporters, a shout out today to Darth Taxes. He is joined at the $5 Fake Jedi Knight tier. And also, hey, Darth Taxes, you are a part of the Starship Sabers and Scoundrels podcast, which we love here at Faking Star Wars Radio. And so give him a listen if you haven't gone over there and checked out his podcast. It's fantastic. If you haven't joined our Patreon yet, we urge you to do so. We have fantastic prizes starting as low at the $5 level and working all our way up to equal your entire bank account. With me today, we have several co-hosts. Both Teeb and IG-69 are going to pop their head into the studio at some point. But for right now, I am Storm Duper. You can follow me on Twitter at DuperStorm. And if you have any questions for us or you want to criticize me for anything, go ahead on Twitter and let me have it. I am ready to respond. You can't hurt my feelings because I'm not real. Duel of the Fakes. Duel of the Fakes. Well, hey IG, it's been a few weeks, and it's time for another installment of Duel of the Fakes.
Oh, I can't wait. My excitement.
Yeah, you've had some trouble, but I think you won the last one, didn't you?
I believe so.
Yeah, so that's 2 victories now, so you're doing pretty well. Let's see if you can get on a roll with 2 in a row. And
all right.
For this Duel of the Fakes, by the way, if you have any ideas for Duel of the Fakes, you can send them in to us at DuperStorm on Twitter or at Willy Bobo on Twitter, and if we like your ideas, we'll definitely use them. But in lieu of that, this one, it comes to us from Willy Bobo, and it says, "Nothing like a little Duel of the Fakes in the summer." Am I right, IG? It's the galaxy's favorite pastime.
It's better than cold beer and barbecues.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. On this hotter than Mustafar edition of Duel, we'll be focusing on Star Wars leaks throughout the years. Did you know that's actually how I got started with Faking Star Wars originally?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I was working actually for Lucasfilm. I was responsible for choosing when to release certain leaks to try to get the most kind of momentum going before the films.
Oh, great! And then fake some outrage about it.
Yeah, well, I was fired for releasing too many leaks too soon. So.
Oh, I thought it would be for not releasing enough leaks at the right time.
Well, I did both, but anyway. So, here's a refresher on how it works. I'm going to read off 3 headlines. They should all be fake, but actually there's one very, very sneaky news story trying to subvert things, pretending to be fake, like a little mole. And it's IG's job to call out the lying, cheating, two-faced, true story. We're not a fan of truth on this show. Are you ready, IG?
Ready and willing.
You are a veteran by now. What are you? You're 2 for 5, I think, right? 2 for 4, 2 for 5?
I believe you did one with the
with Teeb?
Other announcer. Yes.
Teeb, the other announcer.
Teeb.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, Faking Star Wars is now a sports broadcast.
Yes,
we have announcers, not hosts.
Yes, the other host.
Are you ready
for
Faking Star Wars? In the right corner, it's Teeb. In the left corner, it's IG-69. That would be good. That's actually a great idea. We should film record an episode of the podcast in a octagon or in a squared circle, huh?
That would be awesome.
Who would win in a fight between IG-69 and Teeb to be the permanent co-host of Faking Star Wars Radio?
You can have it.
It's not a fight to be the host. It's a fight to not be the host. The winner gets to never host again. All right. First up, at Star Wars Celebration Europe in 2016, Felicity Jones accidentally leaked the fact that Darth Vader was in Rogue One. So, second one. On to our second headline. It should be fake, but it may be a true story in disguise. The greatest twist ending in film history was actually leaked by David Prowse 2 years before The Empire Strikes Back hit theaters. During an appearance in Berkeley, California, Prowse revealed the bombshell to inquiring fans. Are you familiar with who David Prowse is?
No, not particularly.
Oh, this is good. David Prowse is actually the actor who played Darth Vader in the original trilogy.
Oh, okay, like the actual guy in the suit.
That's right, the Scottish guy who did the acting portion, and then James Earl Jones voiced that later in ADR. But David Prowse was responsible for all the blocking and all the moves. So, yeah. Here's the third totally fake, but maybe true story. Infamous prequel leaker Spoiler Man returned to the scene in 2014 with a treasure trove of pictures from the set of The Force Awakens. You feeling the heat, IG? Think you've got this one? Let's hear it. Which is the real fake one? Which is the one posing as a fake? Is it Felicity Jones with loose lips leaking Vader's cameo in Rogue One? Or David Prowse spoiling the ending to Empire 2 years early to a bunch of Berkeley hippies? Or Spoiler Man leaking images from the set of The Force Awakens? What do you think?
I'm going to go with number one, Felicity Jones. Because I remember that kind of coming out as like, oh, Vader's out, and everyone was like getting really excited about it. And
right, yeah. I mean, I
for some reason,
I kind of wonder about that. I mean, Felicity Jones, I have fantasized about her having very loose lips. I don't know, but as we know, not all fantasies can become reality. Yeah. Well, now think about this, because now I may be doing a double fake here. You know. It was kind of common knowledge before Rogue One that Vader was going to be in it. I mean, most people knew that there was a whole scene with Vader in the movie. Was that part of the original plan in the movie, or was that leaked out and then just everyone was like, yeah, Vader's going to be in it? I think there's just a lot of speculation that they did it because they were worried about people not going to the movie after they did reshoots. Gareth Edwards was kind of booted off the project for the last few months. So some people said, well, they released the information about Vader to just keep people interested. And so they would.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. I guess. I don't think it's the one about Empire, because that. Well, either it was leaked to people who never talked to about it, or I think I would have heard more about that.
Okay.
And because like the ending to Empire is pretty big, right? You know, that would have been, and the thing is, well, there at the time there was a following for A New Hope. Star Wars wasn't really that big until the Empire Strikes Back was finished. That's true. That's the movie that really, really sucked everyone in. And I could totally see Lucas or people on the prequels trying to leak things to bring in like more people, get more excitement and hype about it. However, well, you did say photos. You didn't say anything about the plot lines or anything like that, right?
Right, yeah. Oh, by the way, I was just going to say, I mean, when I think about the prequels, that's really when things start to leak.
Yeah, well, yes. Yeah. That's more the if they leaked pictures, because like visually they're all fine.
Like, do you remember those Pampers commercials where they have that little toddler walking around looking sad and forlorn in the hallway, and they go like, Tommy has a diaper that leaks, you know? Like, that was my heart when The Phantom Menace finished up.
Tommy is a youngling. His midichlorian count is very high.
Yeah, it's just a leaky diaper of a heart. Thanks, George Lucas. Anyway,
I would say it'd be one. It'd have to be Rogue One or prequels, because that's both. leaks are now strategic, and that
you mean the
seems
Force
like
Awakens? The Force Awakens.
So wait. Force Awakens?
Yeah. So Spoiler Man was finding pictures online of Force Awakens.
Oh, what? Where did I get the prequels?
Well, because he's yeah.
Oh,
because
he spoiled the prequels.
Spoiler Man. Yeah. He was leaking prequel stuff. That's how he got famous, I guess.
Okay, so I misheard that. So yeah, he's became famous for leaking prequel stuff, and then he leaked Force Awakens stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I do remember there being like several leaks from The Force Awakens, but then I think there were several leaks from Rogue One as well. It all seems to be like just a thing. I'll stick with my answer.
Okay. Let's make a deal on this. So you've chosen, and now I'm going to reveal one of the answers that is fake. Okay?
Okay.
And then you'll have a chance to change. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, the leak about Spoiler Man is fake. It's not true. Yeah. Actually, what happened is very fascinating. Several people, including myself, claimed to be Spoiler Man during the sequel trilogy era, which is still going on, of course. But none of them were actually the ones responsible for that very first big picture dump where we saw the Millennium Falcon and that creature on Jakku. They were actually leaked by TMZ.
Okay.
Yeah. So that last one is actually fake. So now, what do you want to do? Do you want to stay with your original guess, or do you want to change?
Well, of course, the smart money would be to change.
That would be smart odds. That's right.
Yes, it would improve the odds. But I'm pretty sure I would have heard about if the end of Empire Strikes Back had been leaked, because that would have been. Well, maybe it's just like it happened so long ago. It was like before my time. And no, I'm going to do the stupid thing. I'll stay with my answer.
Okay. Well, you're right. That was the stupid thing, because the second story is the one that is true.
Damn.
Yes. David Prowse actually did leak it. The thing about Felicity Jones actually is only partially fake. There is a kernel of truth to it. What actually happened was the Chinese actor Jiang Wen, and pardon my pronunciation, we try to be very culturally inclusive on the podcast, so I don't mean any offense by mispronouncing his name. But the guy who played Baze Malbus, he actually screwed up, and he actually unintentionally revealed that Donnie Yen's character Chirrut Imwe was going to die at the end of the film. So there was actually a leak that happened there at Star Wars Celebration, but it was not relating to Felicity Jones or anything about Darth Vader. So
yeah, I guess it makes sense, because Darth Vader could have just been something they had always planned. Like, maybe it just wasn't a secret, so that you can't leak something that everyone knows.
That's right. So anyway, unbelievably.
But wait. So they leaked the end of Empire to a bunch of Berkeley students who didn't believe it, and so
yeah, I
didn't
guess.
bother passing on the leak.
I have the actual screenshot of the original article, and it says, so this is dated, before A New Hope comes out, and it says he offered up a glimpse of a possible plot for the second sequel. Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, the young hero in the first film, played by Mark Hamill, are hooked up in a lightsaber battle when Luke learns that Darth is in fact his long-lost father. Father can't kill son, son can't kill father, Prowse said, so they live again in Star Wars Episode 6. So
wow.
There you go.
Well, yeah. I could see people not believing that, like, if they'd only if the only movie they'd ever watched was A New Hope. It doesn't, because they're thinking, but Obi-Wan said, I knew your father, and Darth Vader killed your father.
Right.
Because, like, okay, as much as how awesome that is, it's also really stupid.
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't make every sense. I mean, every narrative arc is not tied up to that, but yeah, well, I mean, I think the reason it was so shocking was because of the way it was delivered. It was the way it was shot. It wasn't something that was so out of left field. It wasn't like that kind of twist. It was just that it was so dramatic and I think made so much sense when it happened, but no one really saw it coming on that level. That's probably why it worked, Kind of like when somebody pushes you off the end of a cliff. It's like, yeah, I knew this was a possibility, but I just didn't think that IG was going to do that to me.
You should always expect me to do that to you.
Right. So, well, there you go. A great edition of Duel of the Fakes, and this is becoming kind of a regular thing. I'm kind of wondering if we just are not going to be able to do a podcast without Duel of the Fakes at this point. What do you think?
Well, I guess at some point we might run out of fakes. Oh, no, wait, we have a new movie coming up.
Duel of the Fakes. And now a nice word from one of our fantastic sponsors.
Slip and fall in the cantina. Pesky Gungan rammed your speeder. Our advocates at Tonith, and Hill are always on call. I was at the Outlander Club, and some stupid droid ran over my Leku tentacle, and Tonith, and Hill got me enough credits to get me a new moisture farm. Tonith, and Hill, for the galaxy.
Main offices located on Monolist. Retainer fees must be paid in full before any representation takes place.
And we're back. Well, Teeb, it's time to do another poll, which I know you enjoy very much.
Well, I do love the Twitter, so yeah. I love polls.
So there's been a lot of argument and backlash and I would even say hate speech around an incident that happened this week surrounding none other than Rian Johnson and I don't want to use the word popular, infamous YouTuber. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I do, actually. I just found out about this guy, Mike Zeroh.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to not want to say Mike Zeroh, isn't it? I mean,
the guy sets himself up. Let's face it.
Yeah, when you set him up that fat, it's just you kind of got to pass by because it would be an indignity to make that joke, right?
Yeah, but I still will.
So here's the backstory. Rian Johnson was talking to none other than Star Wars Junkman on Twitter, and Rian said that when they were in production on Episode 8, there was a guy on the production team who kept an eye on online rumors. Yes, believe it or not, Disney does pay one person to look at online rumors about the movies that they're making.
How do I get that job?
Yeah, I know, right? So
seriously,
at some point they started to use his last name Zeroh as a verb, like throws trash at a basket, but it slips out of your hand and falls behind you. Zeroed it. So like when you really screwed up or whatever, or when you just didn't hit the mark at all. So they were kind of using it pejoratively, and I think it's really mean to make fun of somebody who's just posting drivel on YouTube, don't you?
Where would we be?
Yeah.
If every time somebody posted something stupid and inane on YouTube that they were being ridiculed and mocked mercilessly by giant corporations that are ruled by mice.
We'd have time for nothing left. No, there would be no time for anything else left, huh?
This is true.
So this has caused a big backlash against Rian Johnson, who previously was just held in high esteem by all Star Wars fans after the release of The Last Jedi. So he's sort of done a 180 in fans' eyes the last few days.
It is funny how sympathy begets popularity.
Oh, yeah. So there's been some fans that have actually been trying to get people to subscribe to his YouTube as sort of a payback, So my question is, how many people do I need to piss off so that people will justify my meager digital existence here in the Twitter sphere and podcast world?
I think that's a really good question, and it's something that I've been thinking about a lot. There's a term for this called wrestling with porgs. Where,
really?
Where you essentially find a giant person and you say something that gets their attention, and then they come down to your level, and they wrestle with you, and then they get all the mud on you and on themselves, and then they, essentially you gain fame by getting the attention of some giant mogul or professional or whatever it is.
It's kind of like what happened with that diver in Thailand when Elon Musk started to call him a pedo. Now all of a sudden that guy's super famous, right?
Well, he's got Ryan, whatever his name is, Johnson, all up his can right now, and all these people following him. So it's like, who's laughing? Who's laughing now?
Do you think it's because like they resent the fact that people are trying to expose their production, or do you just think that they find it annoying? I mean, if I were in that position, I would be thrilled that people were trying to expose what was happening in the film. It's free marketing. I mean, who are these people?
That's the funny thing. Where I am gainfully employed, I don't have time to worry about what other people think. I have to do my thing, and I have to make sure that I'm in line with what I need to worry about, and all the other chaff and superfluous crap that's going on around me that has nothing to do with me. I don't have time to worry about it or focus on it. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to me that these people have so much time on their hands. When I'm creating, I don't have very much time on my hands to do anything other than create.
Yeah.
But they have time to worry about I think he's Canadian or Swedish. What is this guy? Who is this Mike Zeroh? Is he Swedish?
I don't know. He has just the faintest little breath of an accent. I mean, I think he's probably bilingual. I wouldn't be surprised if he knows another language, because when I hear him speak, there's just something a bit off about it, to where it's not off. It's just, it makes him feel like,
he
to
sounds
me,
like Mark Zuckerberg trying to sound like a human. Right? That's what it is. It's almost like he's been sent down
let's
by...
not be mean here.
It sounds like he's been sent down from a galaxy far, far away into our universe to inhabit a human personage. A shell. And then he's been told to say human-sounding words.
Right.
And he's just a little bit off. And I got that. I only watched one video, the one where he talks about Luke Skywalker coming back.
Yep.
And he did sound a little bit off to me.
It's not even his pronunciation. It's just sort of, there's a weirdness about the way he talks that makes you feel like maybe he's a computer program or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's like I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
And I have nothing against the guy. I think I only watched that one video, so I think it's kind of, and again, he's laughing on the way to the bank because he's getting all these people that are talking about him right now, including us.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, it's sort of, this happened with Rian Johnson. Now it's going to happen again with Faking Star Wars. I mean, he's wrestling with, some more porg wrestling. All our followers now are going to go over to Mike Zeroh, and his YouTube subscriptions are going to triple. I mean, he's only at 500,000. He's going to be well over 1.5 million after our podcast is released. So
absolutely. I mean, that's just the way it is. But what is he, though? Is he Canadian?
I don't know.
I need to know. I need to know this.
I haven't been interested enough to Google it. And that is saying a lot, because that takes absolutely no effort.
4 seconds.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the new insult in the world. It's like, I didn't Google it even, Like, I care that little.
Like that, yeah.
Well, we do have a poll about this,
yes,
fiasco. And this is from Willie Bobo. You can follow him at Faking Star Wars on Twitter. And he says, "Hey, Rian Johnson, who is the real hero of the day? Is it Rian Johnson, Mike Zeroh, none of the above, or Kathleen Kennedy?" She always sneaks in there when you're least expecting her and ruins your childhood. So who do you think? Is it Ryan, Mike, none of the above, or Kathleen Kennedy? Who is the hero of all of this back and forth?
I do believe it is Kathleen.
Because you understand,
Kennedy.
The reason Rian Johnson got involved to begin with was because the story got picked up that Zeroh said that the Johnson trilogy was going to be canceled. So that's what was originally the reason for his involvement, is that he's completely still making this trilogy, right? It's not a fake thing. He's definitely making it. So
what is this trilogy going to be? That's what I was going to ask you about. Is this it's not going to be a Skywalker trilogy?
No,
that's done.
The word on the street is it's just going to be Star Wars, but in a different part of the galaxy we've never seen before. So my guess is even things like the Force that we hold so dearly, the concepts are going to be completely different. My guess is they're just basically going to use sort of the appearance of it being a Star Wars movie to make a completely different swashbuckling kind of thriller.
Like Ice Pirates.
Yeah, maybe so.
Like they'll be fighting for ice and water.
Well, see, I actually was hoping when Episode 7 came out that it was going to be a story of piracy, because I was trying to imagine in my mind, okay, the Death Star's been destroyed, the Empire is on its last leg. Those people are not going to be in control. So what better role for them than to become like kind of a pirate legion, that go around the galaxy terrorizing people? And I thought that would have been a neat way to go. No, JJ just reinvented it as the First Order, and it's basically Empire 2.0. So maybe Ryan will take my message that I sent to him in a sealed envelope through the real mail, and he'll take it seriously.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
they're good. The FBI is going to come after you, because if you send somebody a letter with a stamp with words on it these days, you are a psychopath. 100%.
Well,
there's something wrong with you.
At least this way, he can't retweet or post a screenshot of what I said. I suppose he can take a picture of the letter.
Yeah,
but...
you could totally do that.
Yeah.
I wrote nothing you can't do on Twitter. Nothing.
Yeah. But I just wrote it to him, hoping that he would go nuts with this and do something that would not piss off half the fans, but piss off all the fans. That's really his problem. He has half of the people with him. So who do you think?
I'm one of the people who actually liked Last Jedi. I actually liked it. So
yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, because it wasn't The Force Awakens, where as soon as I got home from seeing The Force Awakens, and I was in the press screening and all that good stuff.
Of course.
My friend sent me a direct message and said, "Just tell me, am I going to hate this?" And I said, "You're not going to hate it, but you're probably not going to love it." And then right after he actually saw it himself, he wrote me back and he said, "It was basically just A New Hope."
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of defend against it, but I was like, yeah, okay, you got it. You're right. But with The Last Jedi, all the predictability was taken out of it, but they still tied it into Empire Strikes Back enough, in my opinion, that I could see where they were doing it, where they were tying it into Empire Strikes Back without it being just a complete rehash of Empire Strikes Back.
Well, there were some elements from Return of the Jedi as well that were heavily borrowed for Last Jedi, which I think was intentional. I mean, that throne room scene, obviously.
Yes.
So wait, you got a press pass to see The Force Awakens. How early was that screening before the actual film came out?
A couple weeks.
Was it really that far in advance?
Yeah, it might have been a week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while now, but it was. I remember that the publicist actually said that he liked dealing with me as opposed to a lot of other people, because I couldn't get a guest to go with me. So yeah.
You couldn't find somebody to go see
The
Force Awakens really early?
No, usually when I get my screening invites, I get me plus a guest, and there was no guest that could be had for this one because it's such a big movie. And and I was like, that's fine, not a problem. And he said most people were, not happy, but I was actually, the people like the Teeb. I don't know what to say. They like the Teeb.
So how does that work if you bring a guest to a film like that? I mean, do they have to have you sign a contract and sign your life away to not reveal anything?
Believe it or not, I've only ever had to sign 2 NDAs, non-disclosure agreements.
Right.
One was for the counselor, because, spoiler alert, somebody's head pops off like a freaking grapefruit.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've not seen that movie.
It's not a great movie. And can't think of the name of the movie now, but after the movie, I walked up to the handler and I said, "Why did you make me sign a non-disclosure agreement for this stupid film? It was the dumbest thing. What am I going to reveal? That it was garbage?"
Right. Well, that's what happens sometimes, I think, with those Lemon movies, is they make people sign something so that it doesn't hurt their marketing any more than it already is going to be.
Well, with G.I. Joe, they just flat out canceled the screening. I got an invite for it, and then they were like, "Oh, we're canceling the screening for all the press." Yeah, because they were like, "It's such garbage. We don't want you guys."
Don't want anyone to know.
Which is funny because, they always say that there's no such thing as bad publicity, and they'd rather you say good or bad or ugly things about anything than not anything at all. Because, like Mike Zeroh knows, people are talking about it.
That's right.
Doesn't matter if it's good, as long as people are talking about it. I think somebody wrote a book about that in the 80s, and he's doing pretty well for himself right now. He's got buildings around places.
Yes.
You might know.
Does he have any position of power?
I do believe he is the emperor right now.
All right. I was surprised. at the result. So Ryan, Mike, none of the above, or Kathleen Kennedy?
I actually think Kathleen Kennedy is the winner because nobody's talking about her right now other than us. I mean, most people are really upset about the other, Ryan and JJ Abrams, and
this does sort of take
Mike
the heat
Zeroh
off
guy.
of it does sort of take the heat off of Kathleen and put a little bit more on Ryan, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It reminds me of the Gilbert Gottfried thing I just saw with the NFL, where they were talking about how kneeling and the male cheerleaders are great for the NFL because nobody's talking about concussions right now. And Kathleen Kennedy is essentially the concussion of the Star Wars universe.
Sure. She is to Star Wars what tragic brain injuries are to undereducated young athletes. That's fantastic. I love the metaphors you come up with. Well, the winner is Mike Zeroh. He's the hero of the day with 45%. None of the above, actually. Grant is second place with 35 for the silver medal. Ryan Johnson comes in at 16, and Kathleen Kennedy a measly 4%. So even though they are trying to get the heat off of her, it doesn't look like it's working. People haven't bought in.
See, people, I don't know. They nobody's talking about her. Like I said, it's funny how little people are talking about her right now, if you think about it, because there's so many people that are so upset about so many things about Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. Star Wars is this, that, and the other thing. And she's the front runner. She's the HMFIC, and she is dropping the ball, according to a lot of people. I'm not one of them.
So what are some of the secret stories you've heard through your non-disclosure agreement network?
Nobody talks in that. I'd like to tell you that I know something that you don't know, but I don't know anything. Disney is Disney, man. They will cut you. They will drop you in the aisle, blood in the popcorn. You know what I mean?
Wow,
they'll just kill you.
Right. I narrowly escaped that myself. We were at a advanced screening of The Last Jedi that I secretly weaseled my way into in Asia. I was over there before the movie came out, and actually we had to lock the door, and we wore bulletproof vests and everything during it. So it was quite intense.
I don't doubt it.
If you're interested in that, you can actually go back on our YouTube channel. Before we were putting these up on iTunes and Google Play, we actually have a 2-hour live screening kind of audio recording of that event. So, go ahead and check it out if you haven't listened to it out there.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, IG, Episode 9 started to film a few weeks ago. Have you been on set yet?
Of course. I'm actually directing the movie.
Oh, cool. Well, there have been some leaks that have gotten out and some rumors. And as you know, here at Faking Star Wars, we love to give every opinion a chance to be heard. We believe in equity and freedom of speech. With that in mind, let's talk about Episode 9 here. Some of the things that are coming out. Have you heard any of the rumors?
Well, I know them all, so, you can tell me the rumors, and I'll let you know if they're correct or not.
Well, let's start with what we do know. There were some photos that came out, and, these are all over Twitter, all over the Internet. Have you seen any of those photos from the set?
Well, of course, but I was young, and I needed the money at the time.
One of the most intriguing photos that everyone's talking about is, of course, the Millennium Falcon on what looks like some kind of forest planet. People have been speculating that it's Endor, but, I wasn't sure because I took a very close look in MS Paint, and I zoomed in on the pixel level, and I tried to do a color match with my old VCR copy of The Return of the Jedi, and I actually, the paint, XYZ paint code numbers were just off by a hair, so I'm actually not convinced that it's Endor.
Oh no, it's Kashyyyk.
Oh, is it Kashyyyk?
No, I'm joking. It's totally Endor. This movie's going to be full of Ewoks.
Okay, well, hold on there about the Ewoks.
But they've crossbred with Gungans and have now reached, the most annoying species possible.
Transspeciesism,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they were all very pansexual. Right. So suddenly you now have the little furry Ewoks with the floppy ears, and they all talk like Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, great! I can't wait for that. Well, some people think there looked like there might be palm trees in that image, and of course it's a little bit unclear. but that might mean that it's like Yavin 4.
No,
which
I
would
mean,
be interesting because that's where Poe's mom and dad apparently come from, according to the comic books.
No. Endor has a beach area.
Okay,
but you don't think the entire planet has only one topographical terrain feature?
That would be
Come
a
on,
ridiculous
that would be silly.
idea. Yeah, if they just had one planet, one setting. In
Right,
Star
I mean,
Wars,
it's not
that'd be
all
weird.
coniferous forest. There's a huge tropical range to it as well. I mean, have you read the Endor travel brochure?
Not yet. Maybe we can have an excerpt of
Maybe
that on the next episode. Yes. Track that down for us. So I'd love to read it.
Yeah.
Well, so that's one thing. Interesting. I mean, of course, we knew the Falcon was going to be in it. I actually was kind of wondering if it might be. Now, you've seen the Han Solo movie, right?
Yes.
That planet at the very end where Han and Chewie go to track down Lando, and to get the Millennium Falcon. Remember, they go in and where he's playing Sabacc.
Yes.
That was a jungle planet, and so I kind of wonder if that might be, Lando's hideout where he goes after the Adventures of Return of the Jedi, after he hears that his friend has died. Maybe they go and find him there on that planet,
or a completely different one. I mean, it could be. They could really do any planet, and it's all equally easy. They don't always have to go to the same planets again and again.
I'm not prepared.
And they haven't been doing that.
I'm not really prepared for that kind of innovation in my movies. I'd like things a little bit more kind of relating to what I already know.
Star Wars doesn't seem to have a problem with going to the same planet again and again.
Yeah. Well, let's see now.
I mean, other than Tatooine, there's not a lot of planets that get reused. Like Dagobah gets done twice, and very briefly the second time.
Okay, so Tatooine was in 5, right? It was in all 3 prequels, and it was in A New Hope, and it was Return of the Jedi.
Right. Okay, and then
Jakku is kind of Tatooine 2.0.
Yes. Okay, that's definitely it's a Tatooine ripoff, but.
Yeah.
Other than the planets seem to be used appropriately to where people need to go to do things.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm from here, so I'm going to go here because I have to go home. Right. That's basically, it's appropriate. I don't think it's just oh, hey, we did that one planet in this one movie, so we all have to go here again. Because it's not hard to make up a random name for a planet, assign it a terrain, and film it. Because it's all green screen.
Of course.
So
are there any other? Oh, sorry.
Could be any planet. Like a leak of the Millennium Falcon in a forest doesn't mean that you can identify where the Millennium Falcon is. It's on a forest planet. The only thing you know is that planet is all forest.
And all Millennium Falcon. It's a Millennium.
Yes,
it's a planet made out of Millennium Falcons. Okay. Well, another part of that photo leak that came out that I really like creatures. That's one of the things that got me into Star Wars when I was young. And it's kind of a shot of Finn and Poe, I think, on a hill. And in the background, there's these beasts about the size of the Budweiser Clydesdale horses.
Okay.
But they're real shaggy, almost like a wampa. I would say they're kind of a cross between a shaggy gray Falcor sort of wampa thing and a big horse. And people were riding them.
Okay.
Yeah. It actually looked like they were using real horses. And then they had some sort of lights on the front, on their bridle. I don't know if those lights were actual, in-universe pieces of costume, or if they were some sort of marker for the camera so that they could go in and do some CGI work later.
So was it the horses were wearing a costume, or this was a rough CGI of what they would look like in the movie?
Well, what I'm thinking is that in the movie they actually use horses that are horses, but then somehow in the plot they have to camouflage the horses somehow with some costume. So part of the movie, because you know that Poe is really good at he's like a seamstress, right? I mean, you saw the job he did on his jacket in The Last Jedi. So probably he needs to, stitch together these large horse costumes in the first half of the film, and that's probably where some of the dramatic tension comes from.
Well, they wouldn't have a horse. They would have a horse-like thing.
Well, yeah, but don't you think it would be unexpected if it actually was just a horse? I mean, remember in the Ewok movies they had a pony. So that is canon.
You are correct. Yes. They did. They had a yes. Okay.
Anyway, but yeah, so like cool looking creatures. I thought, JJ got the creatures right in Force Awakens. That's one thing he did do, I think. So it'll be exciting to see what these things are and if they actually make it into the movie, because sometimes they do these and then they don't even use them. But,
I just want a new Admiral Porg.
Yeah.
And like in command of something.
What if
on
the Porg is riding the horse?
Wearing one of those little hats.
Yeah, the Porg could be riding the horse, like, and captaining them into battle.
No, I want to see like Darth Porg.
There you go.
Yeah, Kylo's new apprentice.
Oh, they could be the Knights of Ren. The Porgs could secretly be the Knights of Ren.
That would be adorable.
Yeah, adorable evil. Another leak that's sort of more speculation, I guess, but now this could actually be a real spoiler. So we've heard some of this before. It might have been a plot point from Force Awakens that's sort of getting reshuffled here. It would be the first time that Lucasfilm and Disney have ever done anything like that. But the idea is that when Luke died at the end of The Last Jedi...
Whoa, what?
Yes,
what
I know. Oh, by the way, I was watching the Red Letter Media's little episode on The Last Jedi. He made a very good point. What happened to Luke's mechanical hand when he absorbed into the Force? And that got me thinking, I mean, what if Luke had like some fillings in his teeth or like a bone graft or even his clothing? I mean, why is it that those things also become part of the Force, right? I mean... It's sort of the opposite of what you'd expect, like in Terminator, at least when they go back in time, they have to do it naked, right?
Well, when Obi-Wan became a Force ghost, it was just his cloak that got left.
Right. So where did Obi-Wan get his clothes when he came and reappeared to Luke in Empire Strikes Back?
Well, he totally left with all of his like shirts and stuff like that. It was just the robe. It was like the robe fell down, and that's it. So you didn't see his underwear fall out.
Ah. So I guess as a Force ghost, he had time to stitch himself some new robes as well. See, that's what I'm saying. Sewing is going to be a very major part of this movie.
Yes, I could definitely see that being an Abrams point. Yeah.
So basically, as Luke becomes a Force ghost, there's some struggle for his ghost in terms of where it belongs. I guess this has to do with the Knights of Ren. So the idea is that the Knights of Ren actually are already dead. So Kylo is controlling them in the afterlife or whatever they are. They're trying to take control of Luke's soul, and then apparently, Anakin, Yoda, Obi-Wan, then they're kind of involved. And this is actually going to expand into an entire cartoon universe of just the Force realm with these Force ghosts fighting each other. So what do you think about that idea?
Will they have ghost saber battles?
Ooh, that would be amazing. So, what do you think? What do you rate that leak as? I mean, you give it any credence?
That's the actual leak? I thought you were just making that up.
Well, no, I mean, that is speculation. You can find it on our website, actually, fakingstarwars.net. Yeah, we actually have...
So this isn't a leak. Like, someone hasn't said this is definitely in the movie. This is speculation about the movie.
Yeah, it's sort of in between a leak and speculation.
So, wild speculation.
Fairly wild. Yeah, I would say fairly wild. Yeah.
I would think that there wouldn't be time to develop the ghost realm because they have a lot to do in this movie. They have to.
Yeah, that's true.
They have to close this. They have to close this whole chapter, and I can't see how the good guys win in one movie.
Okay, well, that's something we have to come back to because that's another important point to talk about with Episode 9. The last thing I wanted to bring up that I've heard is a possibility is actually relating to The Force Awakens too, so it'll be interesting to see how JJ Abrams brings this about. Do you remember when Rey touches Luke's saber in The Force Awakens? When she sensually opens up that box and strokes his saber? I
think you were reading things in there that weren't there. That scene was not quite as central as you seem to make it up.
Well, if you recall, she had a vision of a field with lots of dead bodies and what appeared to be Kylo Ren and some other warriors. Okay, and we were left thinking that this was actually the scene of Kylo destroying the temple, like Luke's temple. So that's a possibility. But actually, what we're being told now as another possibility is that she did not only see the past, but she also saw the future. And if you remember, there are some other scenes in there, like the battle in the forest in winter, with the snow falling. That she saw that in the Force back as well. So it's possible that she was seeing both things before and after yet to come. So it's like the ghost of Christmas Present in a way.
Okay.
So that means that possibly we are going to see that in this movie, Episode 9. Something doing with Kylo Ren slaughtering hundreds of people with a team of warriors at his side.
That would make sense that he would put together a team. However,
who do you think it is that he would be slaughtering?
How many years have passed since the last movie?
I've heard everywhere from 3 to 5. It's not been made clear yet, I don't think, but yeah, probably 3 to 5.
Because I guess I'd say it would take longer than that to train a Force user, but quite clearly we've seen otherwise in all the Star Wars movies.
Well, yeah, and that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I mean,
it's pretty quick.
I heard that it's actually going to be possibly the new Force Padawans or whatever, the Jedi that Rey tries to teach. That Kylo is going to come and is going to destroy that.
Okay, but then Rey's not really in a situation to teach. Well, I guess she'll have had 3 to 5 years to read those books. That's doable. So.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how she does when she gets pregnant with Poe's baby in the in the time subsequent to Episode 9, she may have had time then.
I guess she can hold down a job and raise her child as well.
Yeah.
she's a strong Force using woman.
Yeah. So that's about it in terms of stuff that I've heard the last few days. I mean, there is a whole bunch of other stuff that's just garbage. But the other thing that some people have been discussing is the idea of Episode 9. Kind of what you were saying, that there's a lot to do in this movie. You have the whole Leia problem to take care of, a whole bunch of stuff to deal with. And so it seems like it would make sense if Lucasfilm split Episode 9 into two parts.
Oh, well, yes, of course. I always think that's really cheap, but yes, I could see them doing that because I literally don't. They're basically right now sort of at the point where, like, they were in The Force Awakens, so not so in The Force Awakens, in like A New Hope, if you will. Like, it's not directly like in Empire where they've already had a major, like, it is kind of like they had a major victory, but they just got annihilated to the point where there are like a couple dozen rebels left at all. Even in like when the Empire takes hot, that's not the only rebel cell.
Right. Like
that's one base, right? The rebels are bigger than that. It's not like they put all their eggs in one basket, but the resistance is literally gone.
Yeah, but in this movie, we know that actually there were only 12 of them left. Like at the end of The Last Jedi, we could see how many people were there.
Actually, like they're worse off than like pre-Rogue One. Like even in Rogue One, the rebels were stronger. Like they've really just set it back to like the kernels of, okay, we're unhappy people that need to put together some sort of resistance to this new threat, and they really reset it I think a bit too far. Like if they had let more of the resistance escape, it would have had a nucleus of a fleet. Like basically they wiped out every ship they have and 99% of their people.
Exactly.
So, I mean, the only leader left is Leia, who quite clearly has issues. Like, she has to die pretty quick in the next movie. Right. And, yeah, I mean, unless Poe, Finn, and Rey can take down the First Order by themselves, there's not much left.
Well, it's kind of prophetic. It's like what Hobby said in The Empire Strikes Back. He's like, right now I feel like I could take on the whole Empire myself. And Luke said, I know what you mean. So maybe that is what happens.
Literally they're going to do. Well, okay, but the First Order isn't as strong as the Empire as well.
Are they not? Yeah, I guess they're not.
I mean, I guess if I had to write this with this dilemma, I'd have it so that the Resistance doesn't take down the First Order. The Resistance just manages to show they're vulnerable and then get all of the other thousands of star systems to gang up on them.
That'd be a good idea. Yeah. Well, it could just be a lost ending where, somebody just wakes up and they find out that they're still on Tatooine and So.
Are you excited for the new movie?
A little,
yeah. I mean, now I have to see how this ends now, because it's not like prequel screwed up, but both those movies went in radically different directions.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, they've given us a lot of time to digest The Last Jedi, and to compare it with The Force Awakens. And the more and more and more I think about that movie, I mean, the more I like certain aspects of it, but then other things, I'm just like, it was so bonkers Looney Tunes, like, as a Star Wars movie. It's really hard to place in the universe even at all.
Well, they just don't go together. Like, the two directors did not work together to make a plan, and they had very different visions of what was going on.
They clearly never had a beer together at all, right? Like, they never sat down in a bar and they were like, hey, let's hash this out, or let's trade ideas even. I mean, it was just
So I don't know where they're going with it, but it's going to be interesting, because like I think they should have just got someone completely different, not Abrams, to do put Quentin Tarantino in charge of the third one, and let's just go down this rabbit hole, man.
Just put in all the chips, Let's just full tilt. Let's go on full tilt here. I mean, BB-8 did it, right? So we all can. Oh boy, yeah, all in, baby, all in. Great. Well, thanks a lot, and it's been good having you on the show today, IG. So,
all right.
And now a sexy word from our sexy sponsors.
Master Yoda's Hypnotherapy. Control your anger, you cannot. Pizza, you cannot stop eating. Star Wars leaks, you are obsessed with, to the point of being boring and emotionally unavailable. Midichlorians you lack. The power of Force hypnosis you need. Come to your home, I will. Candles I will light. Your mind, yes, your subconscious mind. Control it, I will. Do not underestimate the power of Yoda's hypnosis, or bad habits you will never break. A Force ghost am I. Much free time do I have. Padawan learners to train I have not. Into your eyes I will stare. Your problem I will fix. Into my bank account all your credits you will deposit. Yoda's Force hypnosis. Try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
Tweet of the week.
All right, Teeb. Well, I know you have a huge presence on Twitter. Are you jealous that I have more Twitter followers than you?
There's no way you have more Twitter followers than I do.
Oh,
look at me.
Well, I have 15 fake accounts, so when you add them all together, it might be the same 20 people, but I think it's more than you.
But aren't you following yourself on some of these?
Oh, of course.
And then retweeting yourself? Because that's like a total Zeroh. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. I'm content being mediocre when it comes to that. So, well, all
my followers are either real or Russian porn accounts. So, okay. I mean, I'll take them all.
Or what are those things in India? They're like clickbaits, where they just employ people to click.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I knew I could count on you to support, in unjust labor practices in foreign countries.
Oh, definitely.
My faith in you has been restored.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this tweet comes to us from Jedi_Kira. Kira Ray Solo on Twitter writes, "Hey, Faking Star Wars Radio with Dominic Moynihan joining the cast of Episode 9. Do you think we will see Hobbits in Star Wars now? What do you think?"
It's fascinating you bring this up because I was just thinking, you know what Thrawn needs?
Yes.
He needs a toady. He needs a little toady. What are we gonna do now today, Thrawn? Are we gonna take on the bad guys? Are we gonna get the guy? Are we gonna get him? Are we gonna take him out? That would be perfect for Dominic Moynihan.
I agree. Charlie mixed with Salacious Crumb, right? Charlie from Lost and Salacious Crumb. We do need a new Salacious Crumb in this trilogy. That's been one element that has been sorely lacking. So I'm hoping he can fill that void for us.
And he needs to be addicted to something, and inexplicably Thrawn keeps him around as the one thing that it's his one stupid weakness that Thrawn has, because typically Thrawn is known for giving Zulu not caring about anybody's feelings,
right.
Always getting to the mission. But it would be interesting to have like a little, let's go get him, Thrawn.
So
and he's like constantly.
Oh, sorry. Are you convinced that Thrawn is going to be in Episode 9 then?
I don't know, but I just saw something about Matt Davis.
Yeah, from Doctor Who.
Yeah, I mean, if he isn't Thrawn, I don't know.
Yeah, but isn't Thrawn blue? Perfect. Matt Davis doesn't have blue skin, so I'm not sure what you're getting at there.
Well, they can just drop him and dye him. They can drop him in the tank like they did in the Batman, like with Jack Nicholson, because Jack Nicholson actually he is now pure white.
Is that how they do that? I was always curious how they did that. Oh, okay. Well, so you're saying for his next roles, he has to go into makeup to cover up the white and stuff like that.
Exactly. And in this case, Matthew Davis will become blue, and then he will need makeup to cover up the blue.
So that's why they get paid so much to be in Star Wars movies for things like that.
Well, I mean, it's worth it, isn't it? I mean, I'd do it.
Sure,
Make me blue.
Sure.
I would love to be blue.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, nobody would. You would be known forever as the blue guy, blue man.
You could even start a group where you hit stuff and go on tour in Vegas.
Do they still exist? I thought they were banned because they were toxic masculinity and hitting things with sticks and being all men and
that
big
could be
heads.
Wasn't part of their shtick that they were from an alien planet though? I think they were actually inspired by Thrawn. Maybe Disney actually came in and sued them for property infringement, property rights infringement or something on that.
Well, Disney probably bought them.
That could be. Oh, hey, maybe we'll see the Blue Man Group in this movie then. That could be Thrawn's little henchman thing. Maybe that's who Dominic Moynihan is going to be, one of the Blue Men.
That makes sense.
Cool.
See, we just wrote the movie for him. They cha-ching, give me my money.
It would not be the first time here that some of our speculations have come true. So
this is true.
Great. Well, if you'd like to send us a tweet to get on Twitter, you can tweet Willy Bobo at Faking Star Wars or tweet me at DuperStorm, and we'll be sure to get it on the next episode of the podcast. So, all right. Well, it's been a few weeks since we've had an episode, so we decided to do something very special. We're known for our interviews, but this one is going to just knock your socks off. Here in the studio today with me, we have none other than the director of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, and the director of Star Wars Episode 9, Mr. JJ Abrams. Welcome to the studio, JJ. How are you on this nice day?
Thank you very much. I'm really happy. I'm really glad to be here, actually. It's a great studio.
Thanks. JJ, are you a fan of the podcast?
No, I actually hate podcasts. My agent insisted that I get on this podcast, and so I'm here because I am afraid of my agent.
Well, we are happy that you listened to him because we've been trying to get an interview with you for a long time, if you didn't know that.
Many people have tried, and many have failed, but my agent, I don't know what you have on him. Maybe you know things about him that I don't know, but, well, I'm here.
Well,
here I am.
That would be part of our secret Black Ops blackmail program, which the internship program for that just closed. We actually have enough people right now, so.
Well, that's great news for you.
Yeah. Well, we asked a lot of our fans on Twitter if they had questions for you coming into this interview, and I'm just going to get straight into it. First of all, why did you decide to do Episode 9?
Because Episode 7 was a really big hit. I was able to take other people's ideas from the 70s, and then I was able to make a lot of money off of that, and I thought, money is okay. And so I thought it would be a good idea to go ahead and make Episode 9 because I can get more money, and then I can make more TV series that just go on and have no ending.
Huh. Okay, that sounds fantastic. I love the creativity. So, is there going to be like a mystery box involved in Episode 9 at all?
Well, there might be, but I'm not going to tell you.
We tend to find out all the leaks earlier than everyone anyway, so it probably wouldn't matter if you told us everything.
Well, there's probably going to be some things from Maz Kanata, her past. Maybe why she loves Chewbacca so much, because maybe she had a bit of an affair with Chewbacca, or
Really?
maybe some of Chewbacca's friends. There might be some goodies in there, some things that are not appropriate for children. I don't want to get too much into that, of course.
Oh, it sounds explosive in more ways than one. So, a lot of people are wondering, JJ, what hair products do you use?
I am a big fan of John Travolta, and he actually makes his own hair products from bison that he has ground up into a farm in Idaho.
Wow.
And yes, he uses a special kind of cream, and I can't get. I don't know all the science behind
Probably
it. Probably
proprietary.
Exactly. He doesn't tell me. I just buy it from him. It's about $1,000 an ounce as the market goes, and it keeps my hair very nice and coiffed.
It's probably difficult to make everything sync together, especially when this is going to be the capstone of the whole trilogy of trilogies, as it were. What would you change? If there was one thing you could change about The Last Jedi, what would it be?
If I could change one thing about The Last Jedi, I would probably have killed Tico and not her sister. Her sister was cool. Tico is kind of a very annoying person.
Oh, you're talking about Rose?
Rose Tico?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
I
you
would
have the
kill
choice
her.
to kill her off early in Episode 9. Is that what you're going to do?
Well,
You
know,
might
that's
face
a
some
difficult-
backlash, from the people who just felt that she added a lot to the trilogy, and her character.
yeah, and I think that's the problem, is that I think we spend so much time worrying about what you people think and not enough time worrying about what I think.
Well, speak
and
for
what I
yourself,
think-
JJ. I wrote the scripts to the original Star Wars trilogy.
You did? Oh, that's fascinating stuff.
So,
I didn't
so
know
be
that.
careful how you throw around that word "you." That's not very gender inclusive as well, because I'm non-binary identifying. So,
Oh, I thought you were a droid.
no. When you call me, whenever you address me, you have to consider that I have a split personhood. I don't respond to you. I respond to you and them. So you have to call me you and them at the same time.
I and me think that I should like to not have Rose Tico in the movie very long,
Interesting.
but I think that we would receive so much hate that it just wouldn't be worth it. It's just okay to leave her in there, let her roll around in filth and slime and whatever else she wants to do. I don't care. Who really cares?
Okay, very good. Well, there have been some rumors and speculation on Mike Zeroh's YouTube channel and some other people's about Episode 9 being split into 2 parts. So how many parts will it be split into, and are you directing all of those parts?
Well, that's a vicious rumor, and I don't think that we'll be splitting anything. There's only one me and I and my, and I, me, my. I think that that I need me and my, we need one movie, because that is good for me, because then I can maybe get to an ending, because I have a really hard time finding an ending. And if I have more movies, I will just keep making movies and there'll be no ending. It'll be like I'll be lost in the, well, I shouldn't have said lost.
Ooh, yeah. That brings up a real sore point for a lot of fans.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
well, I don't want to mire you with too much speculation and force you to give away too many secrets. But we are curious about John Williams. I've heard that this is the last Star Wars movie that he's ever going to score. Is he doing it from home?
He's actually doing it from a bathroom server. Okay. Is what I understand. So, unless you know something that I don't know, that he's very talented. He could basically do this in his child swimming pool.
Why not have an actual paid concert conducted from his bathroom or from a swimming pool? That'd be great.
Yeah, I'd pay money to see that.
Does it leave you a little bit with remorse for being the one to make the last movie in the saga?
There was such a long time before Force Awakens came out that it should be me that ends it, because I brought it back.
Well, JJ, is there anything else you'd like to say to our fans out there in podcast land?
No matter what happens and no matter what anybody says about it, what Star Wars means to you is the only thing that matters. And I don't like Rose Tico. I don't like her character.
Well, we look forward to seeing her slaughtered at the very beginning of Episode 9. Thanks a lot, JJ.
You're welcome. You're lucky to have me, my, and me, I.
Well, that's all for this week. If you'd like to follow us on Faking Star Wars Twitter handle, it's @FakingStarWars. I am Duper Storm on Twitter. You can submit a question for us. Use the hashtag FSW Radio, and we may read it for you next week. Again, you can join our Patreon as low as $5 a month to get some fantastic prizes. That Patreon is just surging forward, and we are going to start adding more things to it as it becomes more populated with your money. As always, stay tuned to FakingStarWars.net for quality Star Wars comedy, parody, satire. And thanks to all of you for listening. May the foe be with you. See you next time.